Hey y'all! Pokemon Crystal using only Cleffa and Igglybuff was goon too soon, and this week is sure to strike back. I'm gonna try to beat Pokemon Red using only one Spearow. As usual, the rules are we can only use one Spearow in battle, and I can't use any items in battle. By the way, if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and check out more of these videos on my channel. Spearow is a bird. I mean, it's hard to make remarkable statements about Spearow when it's just a sparrow. I've already done a ton of other bird-themed videos, so I wonder what the theme for this video will be. Oh, just you wait. But in the meantime, I believe Spearow's most famous appearance in the anime was in the very first episode where a fleet of Spearow attacked Ash and his Pikachu. In terms of the stats, well, this bird is a bit of a glass cannon. The HP, defense, and special are all bad, but the attack and speed are actually pretty good for a first form Pokemon. The move pool is pretty limited, having only normal and flying moves offensively, but unlike with a lot of other birds I've used in this game, it actually gets a good flying move in Drill Peck. Well, I guess it looks like we're already off to a pretty good start in my book. Alright, let's do this. Off at Professor Oak's lab, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Charmander with Spearow so that our rival will pick Squirtle. By the end of the run, the rival's Blastoise will know Blizzard, making it the hardest starter for Spearow to handle. Spearow is the main character of today's challenge video, and since I'm celebrating May the 4th, I nickname ours Sky Squawker. Luke, I know it's corny, but considering the holiday, my hand is forced. Spearow starts off with Peck and Growl. Pretty humble beginnings for Luke Sky Squawker, but I already know this bird is destined for greatness. Or not. Yeah, we might easily beat the rival Bubs right now, but his Pokemon are only going to keep evolving and getting stronger, while ours is going to stay just a bird. It's like if Obi-Wan took on that bumbling Gungan as an apprentice instead of Anakin. If you think it's going to be easy, then Jar Jar Bink again. By the time I made it to Pewter City, Spearow was level 10, but I already knew from experience that that would not be enough to beat Brock. So I leveled up to 15, which is not only a damage rounding boost level, since it ends in 5, but also when Spearow learns Fury Attack. It's a weak multi-hit move that isn't entirely accurate, but it has an advantage here. Brock's rocks have high defense, so Peck will probably only do a single point of damage, but while each hit of Fury Attack is vastly weaker than Peck, each hit will round up to at least 1 point of damage. So overall it's doing more. And with Growl lowering Geodude's attack, we managed to make it to the Onix with a decent amount of health left over, but unfortunately, it's not enough to actually finish it off. If we got godlike luck with Onix using Bide, then maybe we could win, but most of the time, we get screeched and then knocked out by tackles. It looks like we still needed a few more levels to stand a chance here, so I guess I tried this battle R2D too soon. It's not until level 19 that Spearow is finally able to beat Brock. Our attack stat is now high enough that we're able to take down the Geodude without using Growl first, and have about the same HP as before. This time, I actually get decent luck with Onix clicking Bide, so I have plenty of time to lower its attack and defense with Growl and Leer respectively without taking damage. With Onix's defense fully lowered, our Fury attacks are doing 4 times as much, and you can see we're quickly able to shake the snake before we get knocked out. And we finally win the battle, but it's a shame that we can't team up with Brock. His rocks would be a valuable asset to the Rubble Alliance. After traversing Mount Moon, I make it to Cerulean City and take on the rival Bubs, and along the way, I replaced the move Growl with Mirror Move. It's kind of like a worse version of Mimic, but it lets me copy the last move used for a single turn. And this means I can copy Pidgeotto's Gust, even though it's normal and not a flying move in this game. It's still stronger though than Peck, and more accurate than Fury Attack. We did end up taking a Sand Attack for our troubles, but besides our accuracy being lowered, we managed to land all of our Pecks to finish off the battle with Bubs. This one was pretty easy thanks to Spearow having to level up so much to beat Brock, but I expect that Bubs will get much more difficult as soon as he becomes a veteran of the dark side. But for now, he's still a Wookiee. With Bubs behind us, it's time to take on Misty at the Cerulean City Gym. And it goes better than expected. The battle starts off with Fury Attack landing a critical hit, and in this game, each subsequent hit will also be a critical hit for multi-hit moves. And this lets us crush Staryu in a single turn. I preemptively use a Leer against Starmie to counteract an X-Defend, and it looks like Fury Attack's gonna be a 2-hit KO until we miss and then get critical hit by Water Gun. And normally hydration is good for you, but this time it hurts. That's what I get for not choosing Vaderade. Alright, time for the sequel, and this time Fury Attack doesn't crit, so we take some damage from Staryu. And that's not so bad, as long as we don't get critical hit by the Starmie again. Spearow misses another Fury Attack, thanks for that, and Bubble Beam does most of our health, plus it lowers our speed. Then Starmie does land a critical hit, but on the much weaker tackle, so Spearow manages to hang on with a single point of health to finish the battle. Darth Maul in a day's work. After mashing Misty's Starfish, we hop aboard the SS Anne to take on the rival Bubs once again. This is normally where I pick up the TM for Body Slam, but unfortunately Spearow can't learn that attack, so we're stuck fighting with Peck and Fury Attack. Okay, unfortunately for us, the Pidgeotto lowers our accuracy with Sand Attack, but it actually ain't so bad. In this game, anytime your stats are modified up or down, the boosts to your stats from badges are reapplied. While we only have 2 badges, one of them is Brock's Boulder Badge, which boosts our attack. And between our higher level, the Badge Boost, and multiple critical hits, Spearow makes quick work of Bubs, even after missing multiple moves against the War Turtle. And I could complain about that bad luck, but sometimes you just gotta let the chips fall where they padme. Now that we can use Cut outside of battle, it's time to take on Lieutenant Surge at the Vermilion City Gym. But this is easier said than done. Despite our higher level, Surge's Pokemon resist Peck, and even the much stronger Drill Peck that we learn after leveling up. Plus, Fury Attack just loves to miss. Kind of a lot. Plus, even if it does connect, it doesn't always hit more than twice. And when that happens, Pikachu can paralyze us with Thunder Wave, or smash us with the super effective Thunder Shock. Wow, we're struggling at the Pikachu? Really? The Pikachu? I never felt so low before. Well, there is good news. We can get past the Pikachu, but the bad news is that even when we do, all it takes to lose is for Raichu to click Thunderbolt. Heck, even a critical hit Thunder Shock will do the trick, and there's a higher chance for that to occur thanks to Raichu's base 100 speed. Come on, Surge. Princess, lay off me. So, I tack on another level and keep trying this battle at level 30, and with a little extra attack and a damage rounding boost level, Fury Attack gets through the Voltorb and the Pikachu without taking any damage. And then things get weird at the Raichu. It lands a critical hit Thunder Shock, which we only survived because we had full health, and then we critical hit Fury Attack for most of Raichu's health. But then Raichu outspeeds and could easily knock us out, but Surge goes for an X speed instead, letting us Drill Peck it for the win. I never thought I'd say this, but thank goodness the battle with Surge is finally CP3 over. After crawling through the dark and rock tunnel, I arrive in Lavender Town to take on the rival Bubs in the Pokemon Tower. And now I finally get the chance to show off the ineffable power of Drill Peck. It's the strongest flying type move in the game that doesn't completely suck a bag of eggs, and you can see here why I was so excited to use Spearow. Especially after doing a challenge with Pidgey, whose best flying move takes 2 turns and misses a bunch, but that's besides the point. Drill Peck makes quick work of Bubs' Pokemon, and now that we have it, this entire run has transformed. Or as I like to call it, the beginning of a Kylo Renaissance. After paying my respects to Bubs' dignity, I head to the Celadon City Gym to take on Erica, the Grass Gym Leader. Spearow outspeeds all of Erica's grass hats, and with the unbelievable power of our super effective Drill Peck, we mow through her grass team faster than the Stormtroopers should have blown through the Ewoks on Endor. Seriously, how was any of that believable? You expect me to believe that a bunch of crackhead Care Bears were able to beat back dudes with laser beams? And yes, that is the part of Star Wars that I found unrealistic, not the Space Wizards. After roasting Erica harder than the internet roasted The Last Jedi, I head to the Team Rocket hideout in the Celadon City Game Corner to defeat Giovanni to get the Sylph Scope. He's manipulating society from the shadows using his underground crime syndicate, so I guess that makes Giovanni a Phantom Menace. Aside from that, he's a terrible trainer, so I'm not worried about this battle. I use agility to badge boost our attack stat to hit harder, and while we get several critical hits here to ignore the rock type resistance, it also ignores our badge boost. You know what else ignores our badge boost? Leveling up during the battle, which resets them entirely. We're still able to get past the Rhyhorn, but with barely any health left over, and Kangaskhan doesn't resist, but its defense is good enough to withstand Drill Peck to take us down. Oh, great. I actually lost to Giovanni. That hits me right in the pride, so I'm gonna pretend that this never happened. Or as I like to call it, a new cope. A couple of tries later, I get to the Kangaskhan with much more health, but even so, it survives 2 Drill Pecks, and Spearow is wide open to attack, just for Giovanni to use a guard spec and throw the battle completely. Oh my god. I'm glad we won, but I'm so mad we lost before. It really stings. But I guess that's what I get for talking smack in the first place. I really BB-8 crow on that one, huh? Now it's time to take on Koga at the Fuchsia City Gym. And this is the first point in the run where Spearow's lack of bulk really becomes apparent. Even with agility badge boosting our attack and defense, we still take a ton of damage from Sludge, and Koga's Pokemon are bulky enough to withstand even badge boosted Drill Pecks. And don't even get me started on having to deal with Smokescreen lowering our accuracy. Most of these battles, I don't even make it past the muck. And yeah, I think it's time to just move on. I'm pretty sure we can't win this one yet, so just trust me. Besides, when it comes to these kinds of things, I have a sixth sense. Since I couldn't beat Koga, I head to Saffron City for yet another rival battle with Bubs in the Sylph Company building. To avoid taking sand attacks, I try to knock out the Pidgeot as quickly as possible before badge boosting. And then I use agilities against the Growlithe, since I thought it couldn't do much to us. But takedowns actually do a lot of damage, bringing us dangerously low on health. Drill Peck cleaves through Bubs' team until we get to the Blastoise, where Drill Peck looks to be a 2-hit KO, but we're already super low, and Blastoise finishes us off. Oh jeez, I thought Koga was bad, but Bubs shook me to my Rancor. On the next attempt, I make it back to the Blastoise, and this time it only uses Withdraw. This does boost its defense and makes our Drill Pecks do less damage, but it's not enough to stop us. And probably should have just attacked there, Bubs. But maybe his Blastoise couldn't attack because he was too bloated from a spaghetti bolognese buffet the night before. Or as I like to call it, being frozen from a carbonite. After beating Bubs, I'm really worried about the battle with Giovanni since he seems to be getting more difficult. He has one more Pokemon on his team, although one less resistance, so Spearow gets through the Nidorino and Kangaskhan without much trouble. It's the Rhyhorn that's the issue here. It tanks Drill Pecks like those Ewoks rocks should have bounced off those AT-ATs, and yeah, I'm still mad about that, but Tail Whip lowers our defense, and a Stomp does over half of our health. I'm actually worried about Nidoqueen being able to knock us out, but Drill Peck ends the battle a turn early by landing a critical hit. Haha, Giovanni, nerd, that's what you get, fool. Psh, I was never actually worried. What? Huh? No. Giovanni thinks he can step to this? Guido-looking jabroni. His Axe body spray fights better than he does, or as I like to call it, Attack of the Colognes. Since we're already in town, I decide to try to take on the Psychic Gym leader Sabrina at the Saffron City Gym. Drill Peck is a very strong physical attack, and Sabrina's Pokemon have low defense, so it hits really hard. I set up agilities against the Mr. Mime since it goes for moves like Double Slap and rarely goes for Confusion, and with our attack stat badge boosted to all heck, Drill Peck absolutely annihilates Sabrina's Pokemon in an impressive tour de force. Look, I know, the force joke is all played out and everyone's made it 1,000 times before, and I shouldn't make the same jokes as everyone else, I get it. After all, nobody likes a conform trooper. Okay, now it's time to head back to Fuchsia City to take on Koga so we can finally use Surf outside of battle. And we've got some extra levels, so we are hitting harder and taking less damage, but still, this is a really easy battle to lose. You can see this demonstrated perfectly when Spearow takes multiple smoke screens. But despite us missing about a bajillion drill pecks throughout the rest of the battle, we did almost win this one anyways. But Koga's wheezing uses self-destruct, and if we had just landed a single drill peck more a turn earlier, we would have won. I can't help it that Wheezing decided to blow itself up like the Death Star blew up Princess Leia's homeworld. And despite the fact that were this not a solo Pokemon challenge run, this would have meant that we win since I have other Pokemon for HMs. So, if you think about it, technically, we won the battle, but for Alderaan reasons. I had to reset this so many times. Smokescreen really is an aggravating move. And the crazy thing too, is that even when we do take less smokescreens, it's not necessarily helpful. You see, each smokescreen that we take means another badge boost to our attack and defense, which makes the battle easier to win because we do more damage and take less damage, but that's only if we actually hit our moves. You see what I'm getting at? It's a real chicken before the egg kind of situation. Or as I like to call it, a Kashyyyk 22. With that difficult gym battle behind us, I head to Cinnabar Island to take on the Fire-type gym leader Blaine. Things get off to a rocky start when Growlithe takes out half of our health as we set up badge boosts. Oh great. Things get even worse when Blaine's Rapidash lowers our attack with Growl, and with our attack reduced, Drill Peck barely damages Arcanine. And then, like Arcanine father like Growlithe's son, it finishes us off with Takedown. Such is the duality of Blaine's gym battle. He either smashes you with Takedown and Fire Blast, or spams Roar and Super Potions to practically give you the win. He walks a fine line. Okay, so I keep trying this Mamma Jamma, and after some decent Super Potion luck, we managed to get past the Growlithe without taking too much damage. Ponyta wasn't an issue before, and it still isn't now. Rapidash doesn't go for Growl this time, which is good, but instead it goes for Fire Spin, which is not great. And we're locked into taking damage and can't do anything about it, but once it goes down, we need some decent Super Potion luck against the Arcanine in order to take it out. We get a Super Potion, later than I'd like, and Arcanine launches a massive takedown. But Spearow hangs on, and we finish this red-hot battle to win the Volcano Badge. And geez, all this talk of volcanoes and fire blasts has got me sweating. But don't worry, when things get too hot, you can always cool off with some refreshing Froyota. It's just like ice cream, but it's made of Grogurt. Now it's time for the final showdown with Giovanni for our final gym badge. And this battle comes down to one thing. Can we get past the Rhyhorn? No, really, yeah, that's it. Rhyhorn resists our moves, and if it actually attacks us, especially after going for Tail Whip, then that would be very bad. Although, when it uses multiple Tail Whips but then doesn't attack us, that's actually good. Tail Whip badge boosts our attack stat, which is obviously a good thing. Drill Peck 1-hit KOs Dugtrio, then 2-hit KOs both the Nidoqueen and the Nidoking, which thankfully doesn't go for the very strong Thrash, which would have knocked us out with lower defense, but that's besides the point. Once we get to the Rhydon, it's all over, baby. It will only use the 1-hit KO move Horn Drill, which will never land because we're faster, and then the only way we could lose is if the poison damage from Nidoqueen's Poison Sting takes us out first. Rhydon might be a rock-type beefcake, but Spearow cannot be stopped. We beat Giovanni so bad, he has to go into hiding, and now his kids are being raised without a father. Wait, that sounds like a show I know. Oh yeah, it's on MTV. It's called Palpatine Mom. Before we can take on the Elite Four, we have to battle the rival Bubs once again. And this one was so frustrating. I can't just set up 3 agilities against the Pidgeot and then Drill Peck for the win. For starters, Pidgeot will do a lot of damage to us in the meantime. So instead, I try to knock out the Pidgeot as quickly as possible, and then I do the Badgy Boosty thing against the Rhyhorn. Best case scenario is that we set up 3 agilities for Badge Boost, and then Drill Peck Rhyhorn until it goes down, all the while taking a Tail Whip for each turn to Badge Boost our attack stat to astronomical levels without taking any damage. Or instead, none of that happens and we're left with only 7 HP. Cool! Either one works fine with me. Drill Peck 1-hit KOs the Growlithe, the Exeggutor, and the Alakazam, but then we level up right before the Blastoise and lose all of our additional badge boosts. Yay. The only way we could possibly win now is if Blastoise only uses Withdraw. Or Skull Bash. Okay, we can still win. Never mind. Without the badge boost, we just get Ragami Dolled. Okay, so instead of just trying again, I make one small change first. This time, I go out and battle some of the weaker trainers that I skipped throughout the run, just to get enough experience so that we level up right after defeating the Pidgeot. And since we're not going to set up badge boost until the Rhyhorn anyways, this means that we won't level up before the Blastoise this time, and we'll get to keep all of our badge boosts. This time around, with all of our badge boosts left, Drill Peck is a 2-hit KO on the Blastoise, which is perfect since Blastoise goes for the 2-turn move Skull Bash. That move is terrible, so we win! Yay! Hey, maybe we should do a challenge with only objectively terrible moves, like Skull Bash and Razor Wind. I mean, I'd whine about how my life is hard enough and I don't really need that kind of stress, but you guys don't care, and nobody wants to hear me go, "Naboo-hoo." Alright, it's time to take on the Elite Four, but first, here are the stats and moves. Our attack and speed are good, but the defensive stats are completely lacking. I've gone ahead and replaced Fury Attack with the move Mimic. I already know from previous experience that we're going to need it to beat Lorelei, so I might as well teach it now. I've also spent the remainder of our money to boost Spearow's stats with vitamins. And some people might argue that this is abusing performance-enhancing drugs, but I'd argue that these are not the roids you are looking for. Speaking of Lorelei, she's up first, and here is where my expectations for Spearow drastically shatter. I assumed that because Spearow has a better attack stat and access to Drill Peck, that this would be easier than it was for Pidgey, but let's consider the one thing that both birds do have in common, which is a weakness to ice and terrible bulk. At level 52, Spearow takes 85% of its health from Dugong's Aurora Beam, and with a chance to also lower our attack, it's a devastating move. It's the nail in the coffin, or as I like to call it, the kiss of Death Star. There's absolutely no way we win at this level, so let's grind. The grind is pretty fast though, since Drill Peck makes quick work of most wild Pokemon. Plus, there were still plenty of unbattled trainers for Spearow to clean up, so it was pretty quick to get up to level 60. Alright, time to head back into the battle with Lorelei, and let's just see how much our training has benefited our Spearow. Dugong launches an Aurora Beam, and... Nope. Alright, I'm back at level 70, and it's okay. I've got speed up, I've got Netflix, so it's not all that bad. But I am really tired of having to grind, and I'm also pretty much out of trainers, so okay, hope this works. And as much as I'd love a magical solution, it's not like I can just wave my Obi Wand. Oh, who am I kidding? Level 70 wasn't enough. In fact, it's not until level 78 that Spearow even stands a friggin' chance. And that's absolutely ridiculous that it took 26 levels to make this work. I'm starting to get a little Boba fed up with this garbage. Oh, and what's worse is that level 70 is fine to get past the Dugong, but it's not until level 78 that I'm actually able to make it past the Cloyster. But hey, once we get to the Slowbro, we can copy Amnesia with Mimic, which raises our special while badge boosting our other stats. Slowbro ruins our plans though by going for Growl to lower our attack and effectively nullify all of our badge boosts, so hopefully the extra special is enough to carry us through. Drill Peck 1-hit KOs the Jinx, but Lapras is crazy bulky and tanks the Drill Peck as we just barely survive a blizzard thanks to all those Amnesia boosts. Drill Peck finishes off Lapras, and I'm delighted to be done with this godforsaken battle. It took our bird literally 1,000 years to win, making Spearow a Millennium Falcon. With Lorelei defeated, it's time to take on Bruno. Geez, after having to grind up 26 levels just to beat Lorelei, I wonder how hard it's gonna be to beat Bruno. Actually, it's gonna be really hard. No. Not because Bruno's difficult, but because Spearow is going to use Mimic to copy Onix's Harden to use for additional badge boosts. Yeah, that kind of hard. With the extra levels and badge boosts to attack, Drill Peck quickly takes out Bruno's 2 Onix, Plus, it absolutely eviscerates his 3 fighting type Pokemon. This is the part where everybody acts surprised. It's a huge plot twist, just like when Spearow said,
"No, I'm your feather."
Now it's time for the Elite Four member Agatha. Normally I would use a rare candy here to reset our experience so that we don't level up during the battle and lose our badge boost, but I don't end up doing that. For starters, Spearow leveled up right after knocking out Bruno's Machamp, but also, we don't even need badge boost. One of the best things about Spearow's Drill Peck is that it's a flying move, and I know that sounds obvious, but it means we can hit Agatha's Ghost with it, and that is huge! I don't even need to use Mimic like I often do to copy Hypnosis or Nightshade. I can just click Drill Peck until we win, and on the first try to boot. There were a couple of her Pokemon that barely survived Drill Peck, so had we lost, I probably would have just tried badge boosting anyways, but that didn't happen. Just like I pretend that the Han Solo movie never happened. I don't know why Disney keeps pumping out half-baked Star Wars movies and shows. We all know they go badly. Next up is the final Elite Four member, Lance the Dragon Master. I reset our experience with a rare candy since I will be using badge boost here, and then I restore my tiny beepy before heading into the battle. I was super excited for this battle to use one of my favorite strategies, which is to mimic Gyarados' Hyper Beam. Don't forget, we're a normal type, so it is same type attack boosted. Plus, in this game, if Hyper Beam knocks out a Pokemon, we don't take the recharge turn. This means Spearow is free to spam Hyper Beam repeatedly without consequence. We even want to kill the Aerodactyl, which is a rock type and resist, and I gotta say, I love any chance I get to do something crazy like mimicking Hyper Beam. After all, I've done a ton of these videos, and I don't want them to get stale, so every once in a while, I try to spice things up. But as Master Yoda says, do or do not. There is no chai. Okay, that joke, that was a latte. Finally, it's time to take on the champion, our rival Bubs. As usual, heal the bird, feed a candy, fix my PP. Nothing left to do but head into the battle and try to defeat a rival Bubs. And it starts off with a bird off, or as I like to call it, a freestyle flap battle. We get our badge boost and take down the Pidgeot without receiving any damage. Rhydon comes out, and it doesn't take a ton from Drill Peck, but we take it down while receiving 2 more badge boosts for having our defense lowered. After that, Drill Peck absolutely devastates Bubs' other Pokemon until we get to the Blastoise. Okay, it survives Drill Peck, and his only chance to win is to freeze us with Blizzard, but that can't happen if you miss. Looks like Blastoise should have kept his Jedi on the prize. And with that, the challenge is over. Spearow was almost a good Pokemon, but then again, it was almost a bad Pokemon too. Drill Peck really pulled a lot of weight in this one, and it's a shame that so many of these Gen 1 Pokemon lack good moves. I had high hopes for Spearow going into this one, so why did Lorelei have to be so bad? This was supposed to be an open and hut case, but that battle made me feel more trapped than a dead-end Jabba. Hey, maybe I should get a Star Wars tattoo to commemorate this challenge. Then again, I am afraid of needles. So I guess you could say I'm a Tatooine? As always, I want to thank you for making it to the end of this video. These videos are a lot of fun, but also a lot of work, so I really do appreciate it. There's a playlist on my channel where you can check out the rest of my Pokemon Challenge videos if you want to see those as well. And if you like this kind of content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe and enable notifications so you'll know right away the next time one of these episodes is uploaded. And if you want early access to these videos and to have your name listed in the credits, consider becoming a member or by joining on Patreon. And let me know in the comments what other Pokemon you want to see, and I'll probably do it. Next week, I'm going to try to beat Pokemon Crystal using only one Wobbuffet. Alright, may the 4th be with you, and until next time, bye!